Hi, this is Paula Gloria, and this show is called Farther Down the Rabbit Hole because we like to go into topics more deeply.
That those who are on the registry are not as perceived by mainstream society as child molesting pedophiles in long trench coats, hiding in the shadows behind schools, waiting to pounce on children.
Right, with shifty little eyes.
Yes, and that's not what's going on.
To look into it, I realized it was the latter, that everyone was labeled incorrectly, that the tools that they used to determine someone's level of risk were greatly flawed and inaccurate.
Right, you really took matters into your own hand and reached out into your community, and you got a lot of support.
Yes, I did.
I kind of question whether there was a crime in the first place.
There's so many requirements that we have to go by that people don't realize that there's so many things we can't do. In some states, we're not allowed to do certain things. We're barred from stuff like getting a small business loan from the government. What purpose does it serve on a legal level to prevent us from committing a new crime by denying us the opportunity to start our own business? You know, in some states we can't, draw certain kinds of monies. We can't get Section 8 housing. We can't work for certain jobs.
Something a little different for Truth for a Change. A studio shot, me and some wonderful people who've written some books.
There are some states where you cannot have more than one sex offender living in a house. And here's the problem with that is when you get nowhere to live, then they start to congregate just only to find somewhere to live. Then you got the media coming up behind that and saying, oh, they're congregating together, they're very devious people, they are trying to come up with plans, and they're very smart and they're very clever. They're congregating together so they can commit more sex crimes. That's what the media does. So now we're fighting it over here, they're fighting it over here, and we're fighting restrictions on residency, they're find someone to live.
The public cannot handle the information that is on the registry. There are a whole lot of people out there who get very angry when they discover that there's a sex offender living in their neighborhood, and they will go and they will, cause harm
not apply to these kinds of laws because the intent is not to punish, but to regulate certain activity. So they've been using that justification ever since Smith versus Doe. Every time they pass a new law, they go back and say, look at Smith v. Doe. It happened in my own case when I fought residency restriction laws. I put forth a great constitutional argument, and they just went back and pointed to Smith v. Doe and say, oh, Smith v. Doe, it's regulatory, not punitive, therefore your whole argument is garbage.
Anyway, well, welcome very much to the program. We got three guests we're going to be talking to about a very interesting and another aspect of the overall culture in our country, which has to do with the people who are on the sex offender register. I think I heard earlier in the program.
New York was one of the states that made prostitution a registrable offense, which was ironic because the person who propagated the law in the first place got caught with a high-end hooker. And talking about Elliot Spitzer, your fine ex-governor, and yet he didn't land on the registry because the lawmakers are above the law.
People are killed out of that. You can go kill people all over the world and all that sort of thing, but the thing that got him in trouble was a blowjob. I mean, it's absurd. Yeah. I mean, the community, it's crazy.
Yeah. It's better a murderer than it is to be a sex offender.
You got to be kidding.
No, right? I'm not kidding at all.
Hard understanding the justice. And I'm really sorry you say the numbers are growing.
Yeah, we'll hit 1 million.
Yeah.
No, it won't be long.
It won't be long.
Really? It's growing fast, isn't
Very
it?
fast.
Okay.
Because it doesn't take much to get on it.
Okay.
You can urinate in public and you could be on a sex
Is that
offender.
true?
There are children on the registry.
Yeah.
Delaware has a 9-year-old on the registry, and Texas has 10-year-olds on the registry.
You think?
And it doesn't matter your story, how you got there.
Well, there in the courts, that's what they'll make up a story about you. And if they can make up a you in prison and they get a mark on their prosecution hit list, then they do it. And they will stretch it, They will make up tales, they will make up stories, they will see nothing but evil when they're talking and thinking about you and building the case and everything. Within the courts, it's just so adversarial.
They compare us to the people that have raped and murdered children, and the individuals who have done that they're never going to live under the laws that were designed after what they have done, because what they've done had been so horrendous that they're never going to see the light of day. They're either going to be executed for their crimes or spend the rest of their life in prison. And then what happens is you have us, the individuals who committed relatively minor offenses, you know, lots of times it's consensual acts, and you're treated like you are a ever-present threat.
You wanted the ant analogy?
Yes, it's a parable I've created.
Yeah.
And a parable is something that is an earthly story that has a heavenly meaning. It's a way for you to be able to understand things in the spiritual world by relating it to something in the physical. Spirit came to me and moved me into other dimensions. Spirit came to me and began to show me universal secrets on many levels. I have been lifted, and I have merged consciousness with a higher level of consciousness, and I experienced consciousness at that conscious level and became enlightened. Many things going on beyond what we understand at this level. Some of the information that was given to me when I met up with this higher spiritual being who communicated to me through light, telepathically through light, that this planet had undergone some 200, 300,000 years ago, some war in space. But when you come back to this physical body from the spiritual planes, you feel less alive. And I think a lot of the reason is because in the spirit world, in the other dimensions, in the heavens, there are no laws. There is nothing there that you cannot do. And in the same way, there is nothing there that's expected of you.
You're unlimited.
You're unlimited.
So out of the depths of your despair, you got a higher perspective, to say the least.